So hello everyone, in this video we'll be understanding about some form events. I have already created a form which is having this two fields and two labels with a submit button. Now let's understand what is the first event that we will understand. So this one is the first event on focus. This event happens when somebody clicks on any input field. So if I click on that, so this is the active state or a focus state of an input field, so that you can use here. For example, in this input field I can add on focus event, and I can pass any function or any alert here. Let me pass some function. Let's say I pass log me, and I can call, or I can create this function log me, and I can console log it focused, let's say. If I click on this, you can see focused is logged out, and if I click on this one, it is not logged out. Let me just remove it. So it is logged out, but in this case nothing is logged out because we haven't called this in here. So basically it is that. We can also use this on focus for adding our custom styling that we'll be doing in this video. Let me just create one more function that changes the background color when somebody focus on a field. I can add a function, let's say change bg, and in here I can call this function change bg, and I'll not be getting the element by get element by id or by this input field. I'll just be passing this element, this input element, in this function, and that will be dynamic for each of the functions. So it will be for this function, it will be it will change the color for this function. If somebody clicks on this in this input, so that will be dynamic. So how can I pass this element into this function? It is very easy. You just have to pass this keyword here. So this keyword will actually pass everything or this complete element to this function, and I can add some variable name or a parameter name here in this function, and then I can use this element to change anything. So let's say if I want to change the background color, so I can use the style object, and inside that I can change the background color by adding background, and I can specify the background color. Let's say I want a light blue background, or let's say I want a yellow background. So it will change the background to yellow if somebody focus over this element or focus over this input field. Let's see it happens or not. If I click on that, so now you can see the background color is yellow now. But if I click outside, so it is still yellow because we haven't added any blur event or on blur event. That will add in just seconds. But in this nothing happens because we haven't called any on focus event in this. So we can call the same thing in the password field as well. So in here also I can call this. Now if I click on this password field, it is changing the background color, and same goes for this one, you can see. But I also want one more thing, that if I click outside of this input field, then this background color should be reset to white. And how can I do that? It is possible by on blur event, which is our next event will discuss. So this on blur event occurs when somebody clicks outside of the input field. So that happens when somebody clicks outside of the field, then this on blur event activates. So let's add it here. I can add on blur, and I can call any function, let's say reset bg, that will be creating. And in this also I can pass this element, and I can create this function here, and the function name is resetBG, and we'll be getting the element. And I can do the same thing, just I'll be changing the background color to white. So onBlur event will be activated for this input field when somebody clicks outside of that input. So if I click inside, then onFocus event will activate and change the background color to yellow, and if I click outside, then white color should be there. You can see the yellow background is there. If I click outside, then you can see the white is again coming in the background. So this is actually what we did in this. Similarly, we can check this one. You can see. So this is actually onBlur and onFocus event. OnFocus will activate when somebody clicks on that field, and onBlur activates when somebody clicks outside of that field. Similarly, we have onChange event that we can activate onChange. So onChange event activates when somebody writes something or changes the value of this input field. So let me just log this out only. I can log something when somebody changes the value in this field. So let's say it is empty now. If I write something in here and if I click outside, now you can see this focus is logged out because in the log me function we have written focused here. So let me just writing text. Let me just write that. Now if I do something and click outside, then you can see something is changed. That's why it is logging this out. Similarly, we can add on change for this password field as well. Then we have the last event, which is on submit, that we can add. So the on submit event activates when somebody submits a form. So this form is whenever this form is submitted, so we can add any function that will be executed while submitting the form. So let's say I'm adding on submit event in here. So you have to add on submit on the form because the complete form is submitted, right? So I can add on submit event here, and in here I can call any function, or I can just simply add an alert. That will be a good idea. So let me just add an alert. For example, form is submitted or form will be submitted. So this alert will be executed when somebody submits this form. So this event occurs when somebody submits a form. So let's say if I submit this, you can see this alert is there, which is saying form is submitted because we have added this text in the alert. Now it will submit that to the default location that you know. So these were some events in form. So I hope you got something. Thank you for watching. Let's meet in the another one.